Okay.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Fission's weekly Thursday Tech Talk. For today, we're actually going to be at an evening time slot so that we can have Tienson join us. It's morning where he is and evening here on the West Coast. Tienson is going to talk to us about LogSeq, which is many different things that he's going to talk about. It's a tool for thought. It's inspired by things like TiddlyWiki that Fission has been doing some work with. It's local first, and it's open source. And I'm really looking forward to having Tienson explain it to us and learn more about it. Over to you, Tienson.
Cool. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming to this meeting. And I'm so excited to talk about LogSeq. And okay, I will share my screen.
Go for it.
Can you see it? So basically, this is the LogSeq desktop, and we have a slide here.
Oh, amazing! You're presenting in LogSeq itself.
Yeah. So the left is the Markdown file. You can see the raw text here, and the right sidebar we can just see the slide. So this is our logo. So I just made some experiments on Figma. So it's not designed well, but I kind of like it because it's a footprint, something like or highlights or something memorable during your life. So yeah, I think the community has some logo designs. We might do some tweaks later. Yeah. So hello everyone, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to share LogSeq with you guys. So a little about me. I live in Hangzhou, in China. My wife and I have a beautiful daughter. So I'm so grateful for the life. So what's LogSeq? At present, it's just a nonlinear outliner notebook for organizing and sharing your personal knowledge base. By the end of this year, LogSeq can be used for real-time knowledge collaboration. Hopefully we can have end-to-end encryption support. The long-term goal is to help children and more people to connect their thoughts with the past and the future, so we can make better decisions and we can learn from our past. So the reason I want to have LogSeq is that I've been dreaming about TiddlyWiki with work mode and a web outliner. Also, I want to make it easier to use so that I can use it with my 5-year-old daughter. She already have many jobs inside my graph. So we have the Excalibur integration. So what's the difference between LogSeq and other tools? We have the backlinks, so you can have those reference links in each page. But the most important thing is, for me, is the user is the king of the data. Simply put, I don't trust putting my notes and my life on any cloud service without end-to-end encryption. At least I think those products should be built local first. And the LogSeq doesn't lock the data. So you might know it that we have both Markdown and work mode support. We believe in plain text for data longevity. We believe in standard syntax and open protocols. For example, IPFS. for better collaboration with the existing ecosystem. And another thing is that everyone can build their own workflows on LogSeq. So if you are familiar with the Sleepbox or GTD or hierarchical tags, you can write your own queries, and with the common plugins, you can basically do anything on LogSeq. And I'm so excited about the common plugins. Another thing is our front-end code is open source. As developers, I think that the ultimate fall is to just fork the code and do nasty tweaks. I can change it into whatever I want, I like. And so I started LogSeq like in February last year. It started like web outliner with work mode support and using GitHub for sync. So I want to make a different tool instead of just a clone. We are trying to provide the best privacy and user experience. So here are some new things that we've been working on so far. The first thing is a draw command. I think
Tienson.
Yeah.
This is excellent. Can I ask you to slow down just a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So this is I guess my first public presentation on LogSeq. So
no problem. This is it's super excellent. But part of it is like I'm learning all this cool stuff, and I'm like, oh, wait, maybe I want to ask a question about that. Oh, he's on to the next thing. So this is super awesome, and even just I love some of your mission and vision statements. Like, I'm actually, so since we're paused already, I'm even going to ask you. So the logo, you were saying footprints in the sand.
Yeah, it's a footprint, like just the
marks that you make in your life, basically.
Yeah.
Amazing. Lovely, right? Like that's just a lovely little phrase. So we don't have to go all the way back there. So you can totally pick up where you left off. But I think there's I think my other question I have is about org mode. So not everyone will necessarily know what org mode is. Can you tell me what org mode is? I'm also the person who I will ask stupid questions, even if I know the answer, so that we can all learn. So what is org mode?
Yeah, org mode is most familiar with Emacs, another text editor. So it's quite similar to Markdown, but it has more features. So I think I can give you some example, like the example. We can create. You can see that here is a work mode file. So the most unique thing in work mode is that you have an outliner, and you can have some built-in task management. So for example, I can do something like to do, like meetup. So this is a task, and you can switch it. Just create just mark it as done. And in the right part, we have a time tracking. So it's a bit sitting here. It takes like 9 seconds.
And so org mode really is sort of a specialized markup that came from Emacs as a quote unquote plain text editor, but like a programmable plain text editor. And you've ported this org mode format so that you can read and write org mode in LogSeq.
Yeah, LogSeq basically support the full syntax for work mode. There are definitely some missing features, so we are going to add those features in the future.
Emacs is slightly older than LogSeq, right?
Yeah, but much older than LogSeq. only 1 year.
30 years, 40 years. What is it, Mark Antoine? How old is Emacs? Brooke would know this answer.
It was created in 84 or 85.
So it's
30 years.
It is only slightly older on a geological time scale, yes.
Amazing. Okay, thank you so much. I'm glad we captured that.
Yeah. So in LogSeq, we basically bring the work mode features into Markdown. So you don't have to run Emacs to use work mode. And actually, many testing users told me that they are using LogSeq not to manage their knowledge base, but just to use it for task, just like to-do list. Yeah. Okay, so I will back to the presentation, I guess. So
yes, thank you.
Cool. The next thing is we have a draw command. It actually uses the schedule. I can test here. I can create a new draw. So it will create an schedule file. So basically, we can draw something here, like create the dot, create the connection, and do whatever we'd like to draw. So it's kind of cool because it's we have the outliner. It's a hierarchical, but it's quite limited when we want to have some sketch some new ideas. So I found the draw, no matter it's Xschedule or draw.io or whimsical, those things are quite I guess quite awesome to express the ideas. And another thing, oh, sorry, the next. So the next thing is I will introduce some features in LogSeq. The first thing is we can just write some text like Emacs logse, and this will create a page reference. I guess everyone here are already quite familiar with that because it's from wiki. And when you click that, it will have the linked reference. So one thing it is quite cool is that we can create the block reference. So for example, if I want to add Emacs logse, if I want to reference it, this is just an ID to this block. So it will create a mirror. And if I change it here, like logse, okay, give it a try if you like it. So all those mirrors will be changed. And if we go back to Emacs, for example, we add something like I want to write maybe like next year. So for example, when I go back to this page, for example, I can create a page embed if I want to embed the Emacs page. So we detect the reference or embed page embed so that we can management or compose our notes. So the cool thing is that we can like open those blocks or pages on the right sidebar, and we can change it anywhere. For example, we can change it here, like maybe run some work, and those related part will be refreshed too. And you can just create new blocks or edit it inside the embed, not just in the original page. So this can really help because you don't have to jump it back and it can save some time.
So Marc-Antoine asks, what if the embedded page has a circular embed of the current page? What happens?
Oh, we can give it a try. So
that was purely evil.
I'm not sure.
You don't have to.
You can see that when I search the page here, like a working example, the search will filter that, will exclude that. But if I save it, it will just have the title, but it will not create like a.
Oh, I was thinking if the Emacs has the org embed, org example embed. So I was thinking of a ping pong embed. Not important. That was just a silly, silly thought.
Yeah.
Come on. If you're going to create a Markdown editor, why not make it Turing complete while you're at it?
Exactly. Very nice.
Very cool. So yeah, I think I have to jump it a bit because it seems that we have some bugs, like we don't preserve the last position for the presentation. Okay, so here we go. The last feature is something like you can embed the page or your block, and LogSeq might be the first app that have two-way sync between plain text and the outliner. So the thing is basically like so we can open this page in the right sidebar, and we can click this the file link to see it's the raw text. So for example, when I create a new block here, add some text, it will you can see that it's actually work heading here. And if I change it here, you can see that the outliner block is changed too. It doesn't only support that you. It doesn't need that you have to edit those pages in LogSeq. So for example, I'm not sure I need to put it here. Oh, sorry. So wrong workspace. So for example, I can go to this folder. So it's in Git. Oh, I guess I need to do some refresh or something. So, but not sure why. Code projects, page. Not sure why it's not here.
Is it the Tienson Qin GitHub, and this is the LogSeq GitHub? Are you in the right folder?
Yeah, it's public, and I guess okay, we can create a new graph here, and give it a try. So for example, we can just call it test, and it actually will create a new folder, and can go to the test. Okay. Here, if we save the block, it will create the file here, and we can just edit it here, like edit from Emacs and save it. Okay, you can see that it's refreshed here.
Awesome. And so this is using the Chrome APIs to read your file system?
No, this desktop app doesn't use the new Chrome file system API. The Chrome file system is used in the web. So for example, here is a Chrome browser. We can go to logseq.com. And yeah, we need to grant the permission, and we can add the test directory here. So for example, the project test, and you can see that here we have the same notes, and we can bring the Emacs here. I guess like I did from Emacs. But building on the web browser, we don't have the API to listen to the file changes. So we need to click this refresh button. It will be here.
Awesome. So, and what is the desktop app written in?
Pardon me?
What is the tech that you have the desktop app built in? Oh,
it's using Electron, because we can just use the same code base.
Yes.
So it's faster to build the product, and our test shows that it's actually quite performant, and I'm still not sure, because in the future we might experiment with other new, like other native technologies like Flutter or Ravelry UI. Yeah. So that's basically the two-way sync between the plain text field and this outliner. Oh my bad. We have to jump from the first.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay, so okay, we're back here. So the next thing is working mode made it easy, so people don't have to learn Emacs to just try it. And we bring working mode's task management and many other features to Markdown. For example, like the priorities and the deadline and the scheduled. So you can have the recursive task. So if you're not familiar with okay, I guess so. Not sure why I can't escape that. Okay, so you can do something maybe in the journal page. So for example, I have a journal page here. We can do something like tomorrow. So we'd like to climbing. You can see that we have a next query, so it will list the future tasks here. And if I want to do something now, like meetup with Fission and awesome people, so we have another section here. So those things are custom queries in LogSeq, but it's built on the foundations of workmode's task management. You can see that those keywords are customizable. Not sure you guys have any questions about that.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Having little mini demos like this of individual features is really great for people to show that they can then try themselves. And you're saying that you can now create your own custom keywords and queries?
Not in queries we can just add the many relationship, not just this this task keywords. I will show this later. Okay, cool. So the next thing is yeah, you can sync your notes with Git on the web. LogSeq server doesn't store any notes, so we use a library called isomorphic Git. So it's basically Git client on the web browser, and it works on Node.js too. Yeah, so we just showed that the new Chrome native file system API, so we can use the Chrome or other browsers to read and write files directly from the local file system. And here is the now later workflow. So if I click this button, it will be done, and you can see that it's later here. So this is inspired by Joe Armstrong's article to judge system here. So this graph is public on my GitHub repo. So I will maybe paste the link on Twitter later. And another thing is we can build the custom queries on journals page. So, oh sure, yes. So those things are actually queries. We can check it. So if you are familiar with, I guess most people here are not familiar with Clojure or Datalog, but actually it's this query is a Datalog query. It uses a database called DataScript. So here I will looking for those blocks have the markup or the to-do keyword like now and doing, and it has some clause to filter the date, for example, from 14 days ago until today. And we have a function to transform the result, and you can actually write a function to render it yourself instead of using LogSeq's custom LogSeq's built-in rendering. And you can add any queries here. So, for example, the first is the now query, and the next is the next query, and you can change these queries. Actually, we have the our community have many queries examples on our docs. So it's here. Those like LogSeq.github. So we can go to queries, guess. Oh, this is the simple queries, and the other ones, the queries are basically this things like the DataScript queries. So if you are interested in that, you can check some examples here. And the final thing is that we can publish in the whole graph to any website, like a GitHub page or Vercel or NetDefi. So this one is published on GitHub page too. Okay, so any question here?
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. So you're showing us the basically the built-in queries, and that's in a config file that itself is accessible through LogSeq.
Yeah, it's it's actually a local file, so LogSeq can edit it using the code mirror editor.
Right. Right. So you also have the, like, just like you've embedded ExcaliDraw, you've embedded the code mirror editor for code views of different kinds.
Yeah, because currently there are several ways to extend the LogSeq or to custom LogSeq. For example, you can edit the config file, or you can add some queries inside your inside any pages. So I can do some examples later. So we have a query DSL too. So for many people, they don't have to learn Clojure or DataScript, but they can still query their data. Okay, so
I saw, sorry, question. Your calendar page has the next query embedded. Is that something like a page template, or how does LogSeq know to display the result of this query on this page? Is that something you wrote by hand?
Yeah, currently it's only enabled for the journal page.
Okay, so there's a page type that is fixed right now. Yeah,
right now it's fixed, but actually we have this contents page. It's quite similar to shortcuts if you are familiar with Room research. So basically, you can add your favorite page here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another thing is that you can write any queries here. So for example, I can add a query like world mode or example. Oh, it seems like a big bug here. It almost crashed my app, I guess.
Demo effect.
Okay, so I think I needed to give it a restart. So yes, grab not LogSeq. Not sure whether it's queued. No, it's not queued. It's so embarrassing.
No, that's what's supposed to happen with live demos of stuff that's barely over a year old.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Cool. So how to queue this one? Okay, it seems that it's not queued. Any suggestions?
Kill all LogSeq.
Maybe
give it
kill.
give it a -9.
Yeah.
-9.
Okay.
That too.
Okay, it seems that it's working now.
Ta-da!
Yeah. Okay. I think need to give it a refresh and another try. I'm not sure.
Go for it.
Okay. So, for example, introduction to LogSeq. Okay.
There we go.
So, yeah. So here I give it a query, and it lists that it's this page, this block is inside the contents page, and other examples like I can query those tasks. For example, those tasks with the now marker. Okay, it seems not working. So we have the working example here. And we can go back here. Oh, because there's only later we can. Yeah.
There we go. Yep.
Yeah. We mark it as now. It's shown here. Being an outliner, we can create this like here is a project, and we can move this task nested to this project, and we can just query it here. I can, the project is a cool project, and we have the now query. Okay, and it seems that it's not working here. Maybe some cache. Still don't know. Maybe like.
So how native?
Yeah.
I'm still learning. You know, some of the data script and EQL semantics and stuff like that. So you basically have all of the EQL stuff in here.
Oh, we don't use EQL ourselves. We basically translate those queries into data script queries.
Data script. Sorry, right. So basically, anything that you can do in data script, you can do as a query in LogSeq.
Yes. So.
And that's that's the syntax is really data script syntax.
Yeah, it's actually data script syntax. You can check the config file here. So you can see the queries here. So this part is the complete the standard data script query.
Yeah.
So and we did some tweaks. For example, we can add a title. We can accept some parameters. And we have the transform result function, but the core query is from data script.
And when you're doing a query in LogSeq, your syntax there, basically, is it kind of one-to-one, or have you modified the syntax for how you write things in LogSeq?
There are actually two kinds of queries in LogSeq. The first one is the raw data script queries.
Yeah.
And another one is this, I call it a DSL or simple query. So,
okay, got it.
Yeah.
So basically, I see this, and I know that you've done work with TiddlyWiki as well, where I see this, and I have these sense memories of like working with TiddlyWiki as well, with again, like slightly different semantics and slightly different brackets and other stuff like that. But it's very, very interesting to see the interconnection between these projects.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of TiddlyWiki. So actually, when I built LogSeq, the first thing I want to add is the queries and the filters from TiddlyWiki.
Yep.
Yeah. So the only difference is that LogSeq uses the data script database. So
yes.
I think TiddlyWiki has the built-in data structures. Not sure which database it uses. So it's a in-memory hash table.
I actually forget. I'll ask Jeremy. Actually, that's a good question that we'll ask him, and I think it would actually be amazing to have you two on a call together at some point too to talk about some of this stuff. Maybe we'll set that up in the future.
Just guessing, but I expect it uses the level DB in the database. It would make sense. Just guessing.
I think TiddlyWiki does everything natively in JavaScript, because it's been around for 16 years. 16.
Yeah, but it's true that the first memory storage was a simple key value store, but key value stores in the database is that old.
Yeah.
So it's possible it's just using the key value store of the database, but I think it is, because it is persistent. It's not pure. It is using the database, the browser persistence layer.
No, it's not. It actually writes it all back to the HTML file. It's all one big HTML file.
You're right. I forgot that.
Yeah, it's you know, it's amazing. But we'll join the two there. Please, like, continue. This is awesome.
Of course, thank you. Okay, and I think we can ignore the slide because it always jumps off. We can just check the text here. So I think okay. Well, it seems that we'll be here. So the text we are LogSeq used. The first thing is ClojureScript. So ClojureScript is a language which can compare to JavaScript. So it's a syntax. It is quite similar to this. So you have those parents, and we chose ClojureScript because actually myself I'm not familiar with JavaScript. So my previous works are mostly on Clojure and Erlang. So I did some Elixir previously too. So yeah, I'm more familiar with Clojure. So I chose ClojureScript for my mostly of my front-end projects. The reason is that Clojure being this language gives us a nice repo. So we can use it to query and modify the app state. It's both enjoyable and faster to development. And another thing I quite like is Clojure is very stable. My old code, like several years ago, can still run without any issues. And that can help a lot, especially when we have many projects to maintain. And we use OCaml for the parser. So OCaml is another static type language. So we chose it because the code itself is much easier to maintain if we go to static type. I think many Clojure users might find that quite. I don't know how to say that, because I have some friends who are using Clojure came to me. Why do you write the parser using OCaml? Why not use it in Clojure? I guess it's just for fun, and I want to make it more like stable. And maybe in the future we can use OCaml to for like native parsing. Currently, it uses OCaml to JavaScript compared to JavaScript, but in the future maybe we can just use OCaml for faster parsing. And MLDoc used the library called Angstrom, so it's a parser combinator library. If you don't know, if you are not familiar with it, just forget it. And the database we are using is DataScript. It's an immutable database and the data log query engine for ClojureScript, and you can use it in JavaScript too. So if you want to build something like LogSeq or Room Research, you can definitely go with JavaScript or any language that can compile to JavaScript. Yeah. Here are some data log queries. So the syntax is just from the data script, and this is the result from this query. So we can actually check the raw text. This begin SRC part is from work mode, and this is the query example. And LogSeq will just run this query and display its result here. But if you don't want to write the raw data log queries, you can use the DSL. For example, like this, it's just it's similar to this query. You can see that the result is it's the same too. So here, here are more examples like what if we want to look for blocks that reference either ClojureScript or Camel. We can have an OR query, and
and I assume those are nestable as well, that you just use. So you've done this OR at the beginning, and then the second item could be a subquery with an AND.
yeah, it's
Okay.
nested. Yeah. So there are some queries syntax with supported, like right here. So there are like and query or query not between and the page and the property. So if you are interested, you can.
Aliases.
Yeah, yeah, we have alias. Yeah. So yeah, you can see here that you can add an alias in Markdown or work mode. So when you click the page one, it will when you click the alias page, it will jump back to the original name. Okay. And here is another example. So you can query the task which has the later marker and has the priority of A. And here is the nested query. Like I want to check the task that has the project and not a template. So this is the template feature. We can check it here. So for example, I created a template here. I called it, I give it a name called project. And here I add two cool projects. So firstly, it's Fission, and you can see that it has some fields from the template, like the URL, description, and the tab. It inherited from here. And another one is data.space. We can actually we can create another one. Like here, we can invoke the template command, and there is a project template. So it basically will copy this task here, and we can add another project, for example, like IPFS, and we can save that. So the template is basically it can save some time, and we can go back here, and you can see that this query will list the IPFS here too. That's basically the queries LogSeq provide, and people are quite interested to have some tables to list those blocks that because they have the same template. For example, you can have a book template, you can have music album. So I think the coming plugins API will make it much easier to have tables or other rendering support. Okay. So in the future, I guess LogSeq will switch to beta testing at the end of this month. Currently, it's still alpha testing. We still have some file corruption issues because the internal implementation is kind of hacky, so it's not well designed. But we will be refactoring the core implementation for the last 2 months, and we did some initial experiments, and it seems that the results are quite good. So we are quite sure that all these file corruption issues will be fixed. Okay. another thing is that we will have better undo and redo. Currently, when you tap undo or redo, it basically will pass the whole file, pass the whole Markdown file, and you lost some states. Yeah.
Oops.
Cool. And another thing is we like to have real-time collaboration, and hopefully with end-to-end encryption. I guess it will be the by the end of this year, and we definitely want to collaborate with open source projects and teams for better web safety, so to have better privacy. Yeah, and another thing is we want to explore more ways to help for thoughts and for knowledge collaboration. So I have a daughter, and I want to maybe more people can come to use LogSeq or Roman Research or any PKM tools, and to create more like knowledge, create more tutorials, so that the young students or children we can make their life easier. Yeah, so just thank you everyone for joining this meeting, and any questions are appreciated.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Tienson. That was lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love just always hearing about also your thought for your daughter and others to have better tools like this in the future. I know for me, I think back to when I started blogging 20 years ago and wish that I had better tools like this then. So it's amazing to think about where people are going to get to starting now. Thanks, Marc-Antoine. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's super awesome. Does anyone else have questions? Then I'm going to take the opportunity to ask Tienson a couple more. So this is an open source project, but you're, how can people get involved? You've got a Discord, you've got other things. Are you collecting sponsorships? Are you working on this full time now? I'd love to hear some of that.
Yeah, I'm working on LogSeq full time since February last year, since the beginning.
Yes.
And I think it's October last year. So we have many users came to Discord and to asking for new features, and we have some bugs too. So I can't handle it myself, and I have two friends came to me like they want to join to develop LogSeq and to make it better. So we form a team, and that's the beginning of LogSeq team. And currently we have like 6 full-time developers in our team, and we all like open source, and we all want to make it really useful tool, so that it can be used by anyone.
Awesome. And how can people support you basically in doing this right now?
Yeah, currently we have some sponsorships from Open Collective, and
okay.
We don't start the business plan like monthly subscription, because as you can see that we have some bugs and we have the file corruption issues. So we will start the business plan when we have a stable version. In the future, I guess it will be in the coming like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, and it looks like I'm just I'll paste the I'll get the link shared later as well. I'll just paste the Open Collective here as well, so you guys can have a look. So I also thought that it was really lovely that you talked about, not being a clone, and already you're going your own direction with simple queries and some of your goals for real-time collab and so on. How do you think about interoperability between different tools? Do you have any thoughts on that right now?
Yeah, well, since at the beginning, because I needed to use LogSeq and Emacs at the same time, so I will edit the code on Emacs or using Vim. I use Vim too, and so the most important thing for me is to make LogSeq to work better with other editors. So I choose to support standard work mode and Markdown syntax. But currently we did some experiment. We did some tweaks to the Markdown syntax. So for example, we bring the work mode syntax like we'll just edit it here like code. So this is work mode syntax, but it works on Markdown too. And during the refactoring, we'd like to make it more, I guess it's a more standard Markdown. and then we will support, currently every block must be a heading, and we'd like to support all of the list too. So it will make it much easier when you need to copy and paste the blocks from LogSeq to other editors, or import the data back. Yeah.
Awesome. Hillary didn't have a question. Hillary, do you want to unmute and just say hi, or should I read it for you?
Oh yeah, I can unmute. I just wanted to, yeah. Thanks for hosting this, by the way. It's been great to kind of see it live from the source,
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, I looked into, I'm pretty new to the Rome research in Athens and LogSeq kind of universe. And I went in Obsidian, I went through kind of a careful analysis of everything and ended up with LogSeq, and I've been using it for a couple weeks now. And it's just been a life changer for my normal kind of office job, doing academic research and task management and project management. And so, I mean, I know it's early stage, but it's helped me a lot. So I just wanted to say thanks. And it's been great to kind of see it live and in person.
So these are jazz hands. These are traditional. You don't have to go off mute, and we can, but it's the sign language for applause as well. So Hillary, thank you so much for sharing that. So Tienson, a real live user right here.
Yeah, thank you very much. I was just so glad that LogSeq can be used, for really work, and not just like a hobby project.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. There's so much of this stuff where people can really make it themselves and use their own tool. And we haven't in the last little while had that in most web apps or apps in general. And I think that's really interesting. You can choose between Markdown or org mode, or you can mix and match them. And you've done a couple of these things now where you can use your different date modes and really, customizing the usage of apps for individual purposes, I think is really exciting. And I'm excited to see how that concept spreads into other systems where people start demanding customizability more from their tools.
Yeah, I think there are some requests for other tools, like the notes apps. They want to add the similar features like the queries and the schedule integration and the standard integration to their own tools. So I'm quite excited about that, and I hope that those things can be used by more people.
Yeah. We're basically, again, there's not a discussion of clones. Everybody starts being inspired by everybody else, but implements it in their own way, which is exciting to see the different approaches, right?
Yeah.
And you hinted a little bit at plugins. Is there anything else you can tell us about how that's going to work or how you see it working?
Yeah, I was seeing some demos, but it's completely written by or designed by another college. So we will post the demo, I guess, in our next meetup. So basically, we have some demos already. Like you can have a calendar here. It will list when you move the mouse here, or it will list the future tasks in the calendar itself. And we have we are working with the MindMap integration tool. So those things are just for testing the API. So we want to know what API should we provide, and to how many features or events like life cycle we should support to make the plugins working. So we will have basically we have a prototype, and it's the API part is mostly done, and we will invite our contributors likely in 2 or 3 weeks.
Awesome. Interesting for me is how you think about storage. You've got this isomorphic Git.
Yeah. If
we wanted to see if we could get a Fission IPFS plugin, would that be a plugin, or what sort of layer would that go into right now?
I think both are fine. You can fork LogSeq to add the Fission, or you can using the future plugin. But I suggest don't do a fork right now, because we are refactoring the code, and it's also mostly done. It will be released also in 2 weeks. Currently, in the refactored version, it's much easier to integrate with Fission or any other storages, because you don't need to care about those files or any other things. The only thing you need to care about is the database. So basically, you have a listener. It will notify all the changes, all the data changes. Yeah.
Right, and then where on that notifier is where you would put your save hook, basically.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then a reverse in the other direction where you emit events if there's new files coming from upstream that LogSeq needs to be notified about.
Yes, exactly. So
awesome.
The API is not finalized. We needed to do some internal testing and asking for contributors, but I'm very excited about that. So it can bring a lot of possibilities.
Awesome. Yeah. And I guess real-time collaboration, how are you thinking about the concept of sort of accounts or users in the system? Because this is kind of single player right now. Do you have any hints on how you're planning?
Yeah. The initial plan is that myself or team members are not that familiar with IPFS or decentralized technologies like blockchain. So, but we value the privacy. So we'd like to have end-to-end encryption storage. So any data came to LogSeq, the server are already encrypted. So we don't know. We can't decrypt the node, the data, and anyone can't do that too. So basically, the server will do very simple things, like it will just log those requests those encrypted nodes, and all the heaviest things will be done in the clients, in the browser or a desktop app.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, if anyone else doesn't have questions, I think we're just over an hour. So I think I'll leave it there. Once again, Tienson, this has been awesome just to have you go through this and walk us through what's possible. I hope we get lots more LogSeq users out of this. And yeah, obviously interested in seeing what other collaborations and things that we can do. We're very much thinking for our database layer to do something DataScript-like. We're pretty excited of that power for apps of all kinds. Yeah, so exciting to see your project and so many others working on this right now. So thank you again.
Yeah, so thank you, Boris. I'm also quite interested in what Fission can bring in the future, like the DataScript storage. it can definitely make the future projects make their life much easier.
Exactly. I think that's really what we've seen in a lot of our presentations is lots of interesting people, often single developers, putting really advanced stuff together and figuring it all out themselves. And what we really want to do is we want to have building blocks around end-to-end encryption and accounts and data storage to make it that much easier to build the next LogSeq. But then also look at, interoperability between systems for exactly stuff like real-time collab and other stuff like that. Awesome. I will wave goodbye and hit stop on the recording.